Good evening, welcome to 758 Sports Talk. And as usual, a jam-packed weekend of sports in St. Lucia, in the region, and indeed the world. A lot to get into tonight, but first of all, let me just say a bit disappointed because we promoted from this morning on Vibe Radio that we were going to have in our midst today individuals from the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Education, representatives from both ministries as part of our show tonight. As a matter of fact, the announcement was made last week when we interviewed Mr. Kudra right here on a phone call. Unfortunately, they are unable to make it tonight. Hopefully, we'd be able to schedule it at some other point. I think it's very, very important for the information regarding the School of Excellence. The Sports Academy is passed on to all of St. Lucia. There are many, many, many questions. I had an interview with them on radio, and when I left the studio, there were still more questions that I felt like we could have asked. Similar to last week, we did not have the time because, as usual, we had a lot to discuss, and so we weren't able to get into every single detail. Unfortunately, they are unable to make it tonight. Found out earlier today that they were not able to make it, and hopefully we could get that information at some point. All right. I was also trying to confirm a guest that we had, a special guest that we had we have him in St. Lucia. Unfortunately, have not been able to confirm that guest as well. Been trying for the last 6 hours after a telephone call yesterday to confirm that this person was going to be here. I've sent WhatsApp messages. Hopefully, the person is able to make it to studio tonight. Fact is, it is what it is with me. There is so much that we can talk about. If it's just you and me, you could call up. Of course, you could always send your WhatsApp messages 4880929, and of course I'll be happy to read it. Whatever concern, whatever question, whatever query you may have regarding local, regional, and international sports development, more than happy to entertain you guys. That being said, Grosley, we're not talking about the Island Cup yet. So for those of you in Canaries and Beaufort who were so excited by the result of the weekend, but Grosley sent an under-17 team to participate in a competition in Grenada, and the information has been forthcoming. I understand that St. Lucia played their first game today. And to talk a little bit about that is the president of the Grosley Football League, Grosley Football Association. I have him on the line from Grenada. That's Mr. Shane Paul, and he's here to give us some more information. Mr. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Kenson.
Talk to us. Tell us a little bit about first of all, the competition that you guys are participating in.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to really share, what we are doing back in Grenada. Mm-hmm. It's a charity shield. It's a soccer classic. They came down to St. Lucia last summer, and still some of the clubs they took part in the tournament rather, and we just decided to follow it this year, as part of our development plan, and that's why we are in Grenada.
Okay. All right. So, tell us about how you got to know it and what process you guys went through in terms of getting a team, preparation you guys had for this competition.
Well, Kenson, currently we are going for a rebuilding stage. We have set a platform so that we can prepare for the future, and we just decided, that we take part in a tournament, away from home. It was absolutely difficult for us to really get to Grenada. A lot of fundraising, a lot of parental support. The private sector played their part as well, and that's why we are here. So we want to thank them too, for giving us the opportunity, and also for giving the kids the opportunity, to really showcase their talent, on foreign soil.
All right, tell us a little bit about the composition of this Grosley team. I'm seeing a lot of national youth players featuring in that team. Of course, one of them just flashed across my screen. Of course, national youth goalkeeper. Tell us a little bit about the composition of our team.
Well, you said it right, Kenson. We have a lot of national players. We have, the likes of John 11, coming from the CONCACAF under 17, on the 15 tournament rather. We also have Jeremiah Justin, who was a national under 15 player. We have Darren Donai, who just won the Winter Islands tournament in Dominica. We also have guys like Sherman Augustine, as well. And we have some of the young kids coming in, guys like Baggio, Raquelme, so we have a good team, in terms of selecting the team. I would not say it was difficult, but we wanted 15 committed guys. We wanted 15 guys who can buy into our plan, buy into our system, and that's why they are here today. The results today, I would say, is a little bit disappointing. We went down to a team from St. Vincent, System 3, who are defending champions back in St. Vincent. The guys went down 2-1 in that encounter. The goal coming from Janil Evans from Northern United, rather. So a little bit disappointing, but we're going back to the drawing board, Kenton. As you said, it's a development plan, to see where we went wrong and stuff. And hopefully, come tomorrow, we'll be playing a team from Trinidad and Tobago, and hopefully, we can improve and we can see the development starting.
All right, of course, we're seeing there Coach Bingi there, part of the team. Tell us a little bit about the decision to go with him. In a place like Groseley with a number of options, opting to go with him. He does a lot of work in the Grand Riviere, GMC area, Grand Riviere, Marisol and Corinth area. Tell us a little bit about that decision.
Well, obviously, Kenton, Bingi has really stood up in terms of youth football in Groseley. He's the defending champions in the under-18 and under-15 in the national tournament, and by no means, we have to bring him on board in terms of his own personal development and his ability to work with that age group. So having said that, the selection, was rather easy.
All right, very well, very well. All right, in terms of the competition, what is the format of that competition? Is it a round robin, a semi-final, and a situation where you get to a quarterfinal, semi-final, final phase, or what do we expect from henceforth?
Well, we have 3 age groups in that division. We have the under-13, under-15, and under-17, but unfortunately we could have only make it to the under-17 due to, obviously, financial constraints. But in our division, we have 18. We have 4 in each group. The top 2 teams from each group will qualify for the semis, and then after the final.
Absolutely, and of course, most of these individuals at school and getting a little break from school. I think this is a very, very good initiative. How closely are you following the Island Cup while you're over there?
Kenton, obviously, it's my responsibility. I'm a little bit disappointed, over back home, in Forest, going down 7-1 to Canaries. But I can tell you, Kenton, football is on the day, and if guys procrastinate and guys don't put in the effort needed, they will not win football games. But having said that, I believe they can bounce back. We play on Wednesday. I have good confidence in my team. I know I have a good bunch of players. We just have to put that defeat behind us and just focus on what's to come.
Chadi Daisy is there with you. Tell us a little bit about him, his contribution to this program and the competition for Groseley.
Chad has been the backbone. We have been working in hand. And, he have his strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, his strengths may not be in coaching right now. But I can tell you, but I can tell you, in the administration part of it, his experience, overseas and stuff, and the networking and, meeting new people and, making what would say links, so that we can push our own agenda back home. So he's really a positive initiative, for us, and his inclusion in the setup, brings that kind of success that we want.
Absolutely. And finally, Groseley football. We are in the month of August. Tell us what are some of the plans going forward for the league, the competitions that we can expect for the balance of the year going forward.
Kenson, so much football to come. I believe, I may have to put my boots back on. When we get back home, we have the District Representatives Cup. The Spider Cup is expected to kick off the ending of September. We have the preparation of the Black Hat tournament. We want to kick off a big knockout tournament, just to get, guys' feet wet ahead of the, the district rep tournament. Also for the youth setup, we have the Guardsman under-13 and under-14 tournament also will kick off ending of September as well. And we'll be playing that tournament at the Groseley playing field. And we want to end this year, with a Groseley Mayor's Cup. Plans are in the way, so that we can make it community-based. And hopefully that we can get some of the players that are not part of a club setup, that we can really push that agenda in terms of community. We have to get permission from, the powers that be for that structure. So as I said, Kenton, I don't want to say much on it, but it's something that we want to do. We have been approached, and we want to push it because, it's part of our setup. But at the end of the day, we must follow the rules and regulations, in terms of getting that position off the way.
Finally, persons you want to thank for ensuring that you guys get it to make it to Grenada and you're furnished with the prerequisites, the things that you require to have a safe and enjoyable tournament.
Kenson, most of all, we want to thank the Almighty God, just for giving us the strength to guide us, for already taking us through there safely, and hopefully we get traveling this back home. A lot of sponsors, a lot of persons have really injected their effort in terms of us being in Grenada. I want to make mention of some of them. You have Coalport Restaurant, you have Delicious Civil Service Credit Union, the National Lotteries Authority. We also have the Go Back Fund, as well, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sport, the parents, who spearheaded the fundraising, the players themselves who went out, with the raffle books and, the raffle sheets, pushing and pressing, to ensure that we get something out of it. I don't want to leave out anybody, but in the event that I leave out anybody, we just want to especially thank you for your commitment towards, our understanding team. Hopefully, we can bring something back home so that we can move on.
All right. Well, congratulations. Of course, no mean feat to prepare a team from Grosley to play in a tournament in Grenada. I certainly hope you guys enjoy it and you can, get some victories under your belt and proceed in this tournament.
Thank you very much, Ken.
All right, St. Lucia, that was Mr. Shane Paul, the president of the Grosley Football League. A lot of action scheduled for Grosley football at the youth level, the middle-age level, senior level. A lot of action scheduled for them. Of course, we certainly hope with the likes of Jeremiah Justin, some of the players that we mentioned in here, a lot of young talent, of course, from Grosley, and we certainly hope that they can continue to do their best in this tournament. Love to hear this. All right. On the weekend, we saw the completion of the Under-17 football tournament in the Southern Zone. Victory Eagles, champions of that competition. Victory Eagles pretty much had a stellar performance at every single outing. Congratulations to Victory Eagles doing their thing in the Southern Zone. I was very interested in the awards that were given. Special awards went to Aaron Joseph from Black Panthers, Brahim Vasson, Victory Eagles, Eco Choice Player. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but certainly the boys were appreciated. A special award to Shambhala Shiloh for the Ball Boys. Best goalkeeper, Bobby Stanislas from Black Panthers. Congratulations to the young man. Most goals, Riquelme Elva from Uptown Rebels. Most individuals would be familiar with that name. The most valuable player of the final, Donovan Purpey, Victory Eagles, student at Miku Secondary School, very talented young player. Third place went to Black Panthers from Soufrière, a team, a club that is doing a lot in the football, doing so much, making it to the finals of the various competitions on island at the youth level. Third place, well, as we said, Black Panthers. The second place went to Stable Boys of Vieux Fort South. From all indications, they gave a good account of themselves. And the champions, of course, Victory Eagles of Vieux Fort South. So very, very, very well done to the young team, and hopefully they could continue to work hard, because at the senior level, Victory Eagles, they definitely have a lot of work to do to catch up to Uptown Rebels and, of course, Platinum FC, who sit on top of the district, in fact, the Division 1 Cup in St. Lucia for the past 2 years. We're trying to get our I've been trying to get our guests for tonight. We have not been able to do so. Still trying to ensure that we can do that. But while we do that, we have another individual on the line to discuss a number of initiatives, some very special ones. Some people have been asking a lot of questions about an upcoming tournament in September. It should be very exciting. But first, we'll talk a little bit about the boxing. I have Mr. David Shakes Christopher on the line. Mr. Christopher, it almost seems like you have not been home on the DBS set for a very long time. Why have you forsaken us?
Well, first of all, good evening to you. Good evening to St. Lucia. It's nice to be back home after a long while, 27 days, away from home. But I'm back now after the Pan Am Games in Lima, Peru.
Yeah.
I'm back home now, and all is yours. Let's talk some sports, man.
First of all, now that you mentioned it, tell us a little bit about your experience there. Of course, Chef de Mission, a lot of responsibility would have fallen on your hands. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what it was like for you.
Well, it was the second time around in that capacity because, I did 2016 Rio.
Yeah.
I did Rio, so this time was just more or less like a walk in the park. I had a what you would call a decoy with me. I had somebody more like a trainee, I had an assistant this time in Velica Augustine.
Absolutely.
But it was really okay. The athletes I had was more experienced athletes. We had Laverne, we had Janelle who was out there, we had Sandisha, We had Albert, we had Jean-Luc Zephyr, and we had also we had Stephanie, and we also have the other sailor. But school was all experience. I think they know what they were about. Everybody was focused. I think it was a well bond team. That really bring the success we had. We could have easily come away there with 2 bronze and the gold, but you know, Janelle falter.
Yeah.
And then you know, we missed out on that bronze. But all in all, I think it was a well-oiled machine, and we did very well out there. And I'm really proud of those athletes, and we make St. Lucia proud.
What was it like being there with the minister? The minister was featured in most of the interviews that you guys sent over to St. Lucia. Of course, a lot of interaction there.
Well, the minister was out there, and I'm glad that the minister was out there because the minister saw everything firsthand, and he understands exactly what it takes for athletes to get to that level by seeing all 41 countries out there, the way how the countries operate, the athletes operate.
Absolutely.
So he visited a lot of the games, and he witnessed what's going on. He came back with a vast of experience and a vast of expectation, and he wanted to implement a lot of things, and I want to wish him the best because he were foresight, he was on ground, he was in tune, and everything was going on, and it was good to have the minister out there spending the whole length and breadth of the tournament and of the games, and he really had a good time out there together with the president for Trinidad Belarus and Mr. Peterkin, IOC member, and also Mr. Alfred Emmanuel. So the full contentions were out there, the contention of persons out there, and persons really understand, as we would say in the dynamics, in the ghetto dynamics, overstand what we need now so we could move forward with sports in St. Lucia.
Absolutely, and of course takes right back into the thick of things as it pertains to boxing development in St. Lucia. We had 2 individuals over there at the Schoolboys Championship. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, those 2 boys is 2 young boys, one from the FDA and one who used to go to the Cicero School. I think these 2 boxers that was there a little while. Kishon Pierre is one that boxed the Caribbean Championship in 2017. But the young little boy in the Gilchrist Maynard is one who's there all the time. It's his first time entering the ring. He was a karateka before, so he's a fearless boy, and he did very well down there. From all reports come out of Guyana.
Yeah, Gilchrist Maynard.
Chris Maida, it's a new name you have to be looking for.
Yes, I've been told.
It is about came up against one of the top boxers of Guyana. Both of our boxers came up against 2 champions of Guyana. He came up against Wayne Costello, and he won on a unanimous decision. Very proud of this boy, Gilchrist Maida. And then our other boy,
Kishon Pierre,
came up against Richard Howard Jr. Richard Howard is a top boxer out of Guyana. His little son is one of the champion in that division in the 52 weight class, and he lost to him on a split decision. Very proud of them, and I really want to go back and thank the minister who I spoke to way back in Lima, Peru, about these 2 young boxers, giving them a chance to go to the Schoolboy Championship. 9 countries went down there.
Yep.
And you know, we still on the red flag from AIBO, so we could not have really applied to get those boxers down there. But the minister said he want to see these young schoolboys. As though you mentioned school, he will buy into it. So he gave us a ticket, and then I played with the Olympic Committee, and then the meeting on Tuesday, they decided to give us the tournament fees and the accommodation of $900 US, and that really make them all proud because we go down there, we won a gold and a silver and placed 3rd out of 9 countries. Cayman Islands, from Cayman Islands right down to Guyana, and we came 3rd. Good ratio, 1 gold, 1 silver, and we returning tomorrow morning, and I'm very proud of these 2 youngsters to see that our young program is building from the school. The school program is building, even though our gym is not finished yet, but we can still see the growth and the build and the quality is still coming through in St. Lucia boxing, and we remain a force to reckon with in the Caribbean. Everywhere we go, we do. We just won the 4th belt for St. Lucia a couple months ago in St. Martin, a gold and silver over there. So, like, you know, we stay in gold and silver all the time, you know. We happy with that.
All right, of course. Remember the names, Gilchrist Bida, Christian Pierre. Of course, we had more and more individuals coming to the fore. And of course, there is somebody who has to nurture these individuals. Very committed. Conrad Frederick. Tell us about this man. This man is doing his thing, loves the sport, man.
Yes, Conrad Frederick is doing a tremendous job and keep working the school program. Right now, he's attached to the Ministry of Youth Development and Sport, working all the schools from the north right down to the south in the Vieux-Fort area. Now we'll be seeing more guys come out to the Vieux-Fort area as we prepare to do the OECS later down the year. But we're building and the boys is coming in. It's good to see the boys, the young boys is gravitating to boxing because they could be other places, and doing different things, but they choose to be in the gym, and we're very proud of that.
Absolutely. Very good
the
stuff.
The big one now. The big one now. Black Art 2019.
Talk to me, boss. What's
Black
going
Art
on?
2019. Well, the machinery just came out of the machine shop today, well oiled and greased up and ready to roll. We're just waiting now for the top 8 from the Island Cup, where we're going to launch the Black Art Island Cup Big 8. That will take place on the 7th and the 8th of next month. Remember the name, Black Art Island Cup Big 8.
7th and 8th.
That's the name. Black Art Island Cup Big 8. It's in collaboration with the St. Lucia Football Association. We're working together, hands in gloves, and we're working together to make sure that we can showcase the quality of football. We're going to bring a different quality of football this year to the public because this Island Cup is going on. It's like the warm-up, the precursor. We used to do a lot of warm-up games before, but it take a different twist this year by using the Island Cup as the warm-up for most of the district team. We're going to also be seeing the final 2 spots will be played on the 31st. They'll be played at Masha. We'll see Moripo, Babano, Laclery, and South Castries squaring out for the final 2 spots to make the proper 16 for the tournament. But the big thing is the 7th and 8th at the Philip Marsley ground, where we're going to be playing the Black Art Island Cup Big 8, where teams going to be going up there for big prize money. We're going to give you that time to come. And most of all, you will see most of the team reinforcing themselves after early September. So most of the national players will be seeing them going back to the respective district to strengthen up the district so we can see quality and not quantity for this year's tournament. So we're all ready to go. We're just waiting for all systems get going. We're waiting for St. Lucia Sports Online start to get busy. We know the St. Lucia Sports Online man is on a different level now, but you have to adjust himself and get back to that level so we can get the whole level flowing properly. Waiting for Junior to put the graphics towards that ad I sent out there. We got to wake up all the stakeholders and everybody who's been sleeping, waiting on me. I'm back on island so we can get the vibes rolling because we're going to be blessed this year.
Absolutely, a Black Art for sure. We coming off a Black Art where we crowned the 3-time champions. Vieux-Fort South, they've been doing their thing, and of course this year they've gone down to Canaries in the Island Cup, and as you said, a very, very interesting competition. And Canaries, they have their playing surface this year, and so it seems like it's going to be shaping up to be very, very intriguing. We spoke a lot about Soufrière last year. We had our Chagouin last year because everybody knew that the Black Hat train had to come through Soufrière. You go to a Black Hat game, you sleep up there. The following morning, you go to the Sulphur Spring. And all of us had Chagouin last year. What are we looking at in terms of venues? Is there anything you can tell us on some of the venues that we may, because I know everything is not conclusive yet, be traveling to for Black Hat this year?
Well, Soufrière is definitely out because speaking to the minister at the reception on last Tuesday, he confirmed that they would not be ready for Black Art this year. The Soufrière is definitely out. The work is still going on there. Mabuya Wali, we're looking at it, we have some logistical problem down there. If we can get to work out that logistical problem, we may go back to Mabuya. But as we look at it right now, Vieux-Fort seems to be the hub.
Well, Vieux-Fort is for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
We're going to play the Island Cup Black Art Big 8 down there, and we're going to be looking to see if we can slot in a few games down in the Mabuya area. But all in all, for now, we just set the compass down to the south.
Have you looked at the Canaries playing field? There's a competition right now in terms of the SLHTA football competition. From all indications, absolutely sport loving community, football loving community at Canaries. Hopefully we can get some warm-up games there, Shakes. Any consideration for that?
Probably we can do some warm-up down there, but it wasn't able to accommodate the tournament proper.
Yeah.
Because the tournament proper is bumper to bumper, you know?
Yeah.
And we don't want to really compromise the people appetite.
Yeah.
You know? So we want to make sure when people eat properly, you can't put a lot of food on a small plate.
It will just fall over.
If we get it spill over. And you know what I'm speaking about.
Yeah.
So we can probably look at them to probably do some warm-up down there. Canaries will be a force to reckon with because they're past champion and they've been doing very well. They're going to be a force to reckon with. Babonneau coming back into the fray going to be a force to reckon with. Speaking to a lot of people down in Vieux-Fort, they said they're going to pour Pete. They're going to do it again this year. But speaking to certain people in the inside of the engine room, they're saying that Vieux-Fort South will go down this year. They will not make it this year again. They cannot win it 4 times in a row. We got to look to Micoud. Denry is kicking up a storm, and Mabuya kicking up a storm. So this year's tournament, everybody's coming to eat the food out of Vieux-Fort South Plate. We see that the past finalist in Labrie is losing momentum.
They've lost a lot of momentum. You're just wondering what is going on. A lot of momentum.
The spark plugs is not sparking properly.
Not yet.
Not yet. So, I want to see what St. Sports Online going to come up with. Because when St. Sports Online start to predict and throw it out there along with the banter.
That's when the conversation starts.
Really come to the field. But it's going to be a very interesting time. All the teams is warming up now with the Island Cup. And I think it's going to be a very, very, very interesting tournament this year.
I can tell you, Mr. Christopher, that we have had a discussion so far on the top 5 teams, and almost every midweek fixture of the Island Cup and then the weekend fixture, there is a slight move in terms of the top 5. But when we actually get to the Black Hat, get set for the launch of Black Hat, and then we have the release of the top 5 teams, I think it's going to be very, very intriguing from the Island Cup and the players that are available, who is going to be on top of that top 5. And a lot of teams are vying this time around. Of course, Canaries, and not to be forgotten, that team is well oiled, as you eloquently put it. They are ready. We've spoken so much about them not having a facility to actually train on and still making it to the business end of Black Hat competitions. So far less for now, with all the field, the surface ready for them, what will happen in this year's competition. Final words from you, Mr. Christopher.
Well, the final one is, if you could give me the 8 that you think going to play the big 8, I will give you a special prize. Because I'm looking for the 8, and up to now, my club, nor the SLFA can come up with the top 8. I'm looking for the top 4 from each of the group. So if you can start the work and anybody can predict who's the top 8, we can start giving out prizes from now. We're looking for the top 8 from the Island Cup, 4 from each of the group, so we can head down on the 7th and 8th. Mark that date and don't be late. The 7th and 8th, Philip Mars Playground. We're going to be heading down there with the Wait With Him boys. We're going to light that place afire come the 7th and 8th. So the action is, the momentum is building. As when we start running from tomorrow, we're waiting specially on all the stakeholders I said to fix the puzzle so you can get the momentum going.
Absolutely, and I just jotted down 7 teams, and one of the teams that you would have to look out for this year, Mr. Christopher, is definitely Roseau Valley. Roseau Valley doing very well in this year's competition. Of course, you have Vieux-Fort South, you have Mabia Valley, you have Dennery, you have Biko, Canaries, Grosely, and there's one more team that we all of St. Lucia always needs to be mindful of once they are in football and they are ready, and that's Babonneau. Always a team to look out for in local football with their surface ready to go. Although on Sunday night it looked like they need some remedial work. It will be very interesting. And you see, Shakes, in less than a minute I can give you 8 teams. We will see what happens.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
I didn't give, this is in no particular order.
Always say your favorite word. Start it.
Start it. All right, my boss. Thank you so much, and we will continue our conversation.
It's nice being back, and it's nice being chatting with you. And all the best in your future endeavor, man. I see you yourself building some good momentum.
Sports, Mr. Christopher. Sports. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher. We will talk. The Shakespearean man, Mr. David Shakes Christopher. All right. We are absolutely due for a break. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have more for you guys, including a couple of things that discussion on water. I think we have a very interesting video that you guys would want to see, but we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have further discussions. No word from my guests as yet, and we will see what happens when we come back. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to 758 Sports Talk, and I can actually confirm that my guest that was advertised for tonight is not going to make an appearance tonight. That means 3 individuals in the space of 24 hours have disappointed me. It's very sad. It's my so sad moment of the week. I was called on the weekend. I was at home when I was told that Terrence Mann is in St. Lucia. He's landed in St. Lucia, and I should make provisions for him on my set. I went on and I provided the information for tonight's show. I provided it to St. Lucia this morning. Sadly, apparently there was an emergency to North Carolina by the president from the information that I'm getting right now. And yeah, from all indications, he will not be on the set tonight. I am very disappointed, to say the least. Very, very disappointed. I think that we need to be more professional than that, and we need to stick to our word, or at the very least call before, because I made many calls to find out if this individual would have been here tonight, and I am disappointed, to say the very least. But like I said, there's always so much to speak about. We have a couple WhatsApp messages already. Junior, if you can just put on the screen the WhatsApp number, 4880929, 4880929. You can send your WhatsApp messages. Of course, we'll open the phone lines a little bit later on if you have any questions or anything that you want to discuss tonight. All right? Let me just go to the platform. Kenson, all the Black Hat games will be played at Vieux Fort, including the semifinals and finals. I mean, after all, after a three-peat, we can afford to settle for second, Vieux Fort South, but won't be easy. I'm not sure who this individual is, but I've not heard anything from Mr. Christopher indicating that all the games will be played at Vieux Fort, including the semifinals and finals. Last year, the finals was held in Vieux Fort for the first time. Well, it was held at the George Odlum Stadium. But the first time at the Philip Masley grounds, it was crowded, to say the least. So we'll see what happens this year. It still was pretty much one of the best finals we've seen. Very excited finals, for sure. I'm wondering, I mean, after a three-peat, we can afford to settle for second. I'm not sure that person is from Vieux Fort. I'm not sure that I've met one individual from a Vieux Fort comfortable with settling for second. I've never met that person. If I meet that person, I would say, no, that person was not born in Vieux Fort. Somebody says, you forgetting Deriso. I'm not sure if you're talking about the venue or you're talking about the top 8, but certainly, Deriso, a team doing very well, decent performances. They lost their first game in this year's Island Cup, and I think they lost another one on the way. Most of the teams that I have mentioned, they have lost at least one game. Grosley, they've lost 2, but I'm not sure that I would put Deriso ahead of Grosley. I'm not sure many persons would. They did beat Grosley last year, but we will see what happens in this year's competition. You can send me your top 8. So far, Roseau Valley, I've mentioned mine. Roseau Valley for sure in there. Vieux Fort South in there. Shocking, right? Mabia Valley for sure in there. Dennery in there. Micoud, Canaries, Grosley, Babonneau. These are the 8 teams that I predict will be at the business end of this year's competition in terms of the Big 8 and for the Black Hat competition as well. Very early days, just a preliminary standing on what's been going on. If Deriso wants to be in there, you probably need to call and give us a little bit more information as to why you think they should be in there. All right, somebody says, good night, what channel does matches play in CPL? Do not have that information for you guys. As a matter of fact, I do not have much information for you on this competition. I had a call today to say, what is going on? Talk to me. Why is nobody seeming to call or have any conversation with me based on that on CPL? Perhaps by tomorrow or the day after, I would have more information for you guys. I'm still out of the loop. Not sure why at all. All right. Lots of persons chiming in on other things. As we said, Island Cup continued last weekend. Canaries absolutely annihilated Grosley, 7-1. And as I said this morning on radio, when I got to the Fongaso playing field, I saw the composition of the Grosley team. When I heard the scoreline, I figured, well, probably Aramis Lord wasn't there. I was thinking perhaps most of the perennial players were probably not there. And pretty much the entire team was present. But this is football. On the day, I mean, just as we see in the Premier League, sometimes teams run away with games. Fongaso playing field is a very special playing field. And I say it's special because when you stand up and you look down, you see a perfect square. A perfect square. Not many fields you go to in St. Lucia, in fact, in the world, that you see a perfect square. It's a perfect square. It's wide, and it just seems like you have to play to position. You have to be able to control and pass that ball very well. And very interesting games in that venue, at that venue. And I look forward to covering some more games there because we've seen some interesting results. We've seen most of the times you go to a game in Fonasor, multiple goals are scored. Multiple goals. I remember Anslery playing against Central Castries very early, the 3rd minute. Central Anslery went on top in that game, and Central Castries pretty much came into that game undefeated. They were able to fight back fortuitously. They got an own goal later on in that game, but they survived a 2-2. That's another 4-goal thriller. I've watched Bright FC play against New Generation, which is talking about 3-4 goals. Most of the games in Babonneau, you see multiple goals. The actual field lends itself, the width of that field lends itself to penetration from the flanks and kicking from way outside the box. Nehemiah Wilfred enjoys doing that from very, very far. So we will see what happens. But the 7 goals, some of the individuals on the score sheet tells you that Canaries is probably back. The return is probably for real. Last year they had an absolute dismal year. But some of the goal scorers, David Henry, 2 goals. We know the last time they won Visions, he absolutely breezed through Vieux Fort South's defense. Is that his year? Is that his comeback year? He has not been on the national team for a couple of years now. I think this is his 2nd year out from the national setup. Does he have some intentions in his mind, seeing all of those individuals playing in the Nations League? 2 goals from him. Donovan Jabatis, another very skillful, very talented player. Antoine Wilfred, a former youth player as well, on the score sheet for Canaries. And O'Neill Toussaint, that's the information that was given to me. Let me tell you, that from all indications speaks to Canaries being back. A signature win against Vieux Fort South, 1-0, winning that game 1-0. And then thrashing Grosley 7-1. So it would be remiss of anybody to take Canaries for granted. So Canaries definitely featuring in that top 8 from my rankings. All right, the West Coast Derby. South Castries against Roseau Valley. Brandon Modest, absolute clinical finisher. Let me tell you, St. Lucia, he scored a beautiful goal. Clinical goal. But some of the half opportunities, some of the opportunities that he actually created in that game, absolute deadly left foot. That left foot look, very, very talented player. Of course, we need to. Roseau Valley have been doing very well, and once you have a clinical finisher, when you have the likes of Brandon Modest on your team, you can go very, very far. And we're seeing a very competent defender as well, a national youth player. I cannot remember his name. I think very short name. First and second name, but it's not coming to mind right now. The captain of that team with some youth national experience from the youth level. So Roseau defeating their rivals South Castries 2-1. South Castries again, every year we've been saying you see signs of improvement in South Castries. They've never been a perennial powerhouse when it comes to football, but they've been doing their thing in cricket, and a young team. It looks like a lot of talent to work with in South Castries, but Roseau Valley defeating them 2-1. All right, Michael and John was the other individual who scored for Roseau Valley. Jimmy Alfred scored for South Castries. All right, also at the Fonasor playing field, Anslery and Dennery played to a 2-1 game. Dennery coming out on top 2-1. From all indications, Anslery came with 10 individuals, and then another individual from the information given to us this morning got injured, and so they finished with 9 players. I'm not sure how often that happens, but once you're playing against the like of Dennery, eventually they're going to wear you out and they get the goals. Wasn't able to take in that match. Pretty sure our viewers could tell us exactly how those goals were scored and how Anslery fared with 9 individuals at the end. All right. So very interesting Island Cup so far. At the Marsha, we saw Marsha Miku. Babonneau They defeated Viewfort North 3-0. Babonneau is a team that I have put in my top 8. We'll see how that develops. And then Mico, another team in my top 8, playing in their game against Monrepo, 5-0. Wasn't very impressed with their game again. They're showing against South Castries, but Mico seemed to have been able to get their stuff running again and get things going. All right. A couple of messages. Somebody says, Canaries, Roseau, Deriso, Mico, Babonneau, Central Castries, Dennery, Mabuya Valley. This person has taken Gros-Islet out of the equation. And no Gros-Islet and no Viewfort South in the top 8. And I will just tell you, that wasn't mad. All right? There's no other way to put it. In the top 8 communities playing football right now, if you are not going to feature Viewfort South at the very least, if you tell me you did not add Gros-Islet, even if I would think you're still mad, I would understand considering the run of form that Gros-Islet has had. Gros-Islet lost to Roseau Valley. I've said Roseau Valley is a competent team with good finishers, and they've lost to Canaries woefully, and I think that is anomaly. That is an anomaly for Gros-Islet to lose that way. But to keep them out of that competition. And the person says, I'm going on current form and table position, and Viewfort is out. Wow. Why solutions? You'll have something else. Somebody says, Kenson, a job well done by Sammy and Digital, putting together for cricketers under 15 1 week of activity, and they spend the week at the weekend, I suppose, the weekend at the Bay Gardens. Job well done. Of course, very, very, very nice. Of course, Sammy always giving back to the people. Very good stuff. All right. All right. Somebody told me that I should big up Moshi Carnival. Moshi is having a carnival this weekend. That is episode of Off the Court. We're going slightly August 41st. Breakfast in the morning, the September 1st Vaval Day. So Moshi having some activities very, very, very soon. T-shirt ban only $50. Really nice, really nice. You see, when we have episodes like that, you can send that information. Don't get carried away. We're talking sports here. All right, I'll plug that in. All right. So we're going to take a break, but before we take our break, we're going to actually take sort of a Blue Waters break. We had conversations about water, and many times we've addressed a number of issues with water, but one of the issues we never really addressed was, is it safe to drink water while you eat? Is it healthy to do that? Most times people tell you, eat your food first and drink water. Some other persons tell you, drink water, wait 15, 20 minutes, and then eat. But don't eat and drink at the same time. Of course, being curious, being somebody who promotes a particular brand of water, I decided, let me see what the actual literature is on that. And sometimes I do have issues when I go to sleep. Most times I don't feel like I can fall asleep until I eat something. How safe is that? Did a little bit of research, came up with this video. Check it out, and then we'll go straight to break. We'll be right back.
All right, here's today's burning question. Can you drink water when you eat? Of course you can. But some people are asking, should you? If you watch any of those healthy eating shows, you've probably heard the experts say that you absolutely mustn't eat and drink at the same time. Some of them explain that doing so makes us fat, while others say water dilutes our stomach acid. Can ordinary water really be that harmful to us? Well, let's find out the truth about drinking water during a meal. Why are some people against drinking water while eating? It's common belief that water is bad for your digestion when consumed during a meal. Some people think that water pushes food that's still undigested into the intestines. And then there are those who think that drinking water while eating decreases the acidity in the stomach. So, if gastric acid gets diluted, it won't be able to digest your food thoroughly enough. But the ones on the opposite side of the debate say there's nothing wrong in trying to make overly salty or dry food more edible. So, what happens to food and water in the stomach? The digestive process, or in other words, the breakdown of large pieces of food into tiny food particles that can be absorbed into the blood, starts before you even put the fork in your mouth. When we're just thinking about our future meal, saliva starts getting secreted in the mouth. This saliva is the initial step in the digestive process because it contains enzymes that break down the food that we chew. This softened food then goes into our stomachs where it gets mixed with stomach acid. On average, the stomach needs 4 hours to digest food before turning it into liquid or chyme. Chyme is then sent into the intestines where it gives the body all the nutrients it needs. Water, unlike food, doesn't stick around in the stomach for so long. It takes about 10 minutes for the stomach to pass 10 ounces of water. So, if you drink while eating, it's not like the water is forming a lake down there in your belly. It goes through the chewed food very quickly, moisturizes it, and leaves the stomach way before the food does. Liquids don't decrease stomach acidity. Don't underestimate the efficiency of your body. Sure, it's a complicated system, but all the same, a well-tuned one. If the stomach feels that it can't digest something, it pumps out more enzymes to increase the acidity of the liquid inside. Even if you drink a half a gallon of water, it won't change the acidity. And if you're used to drinking tea with food instead of water, there's nothing wrong with that either. Research shows that there's no difference in acidity levels after drinking tea or water. In fact, water doesn't just enter the stomach from a glass, it's also in the food you eat. For example, oranges, along with raspberries and pineapples, are 87% water. Melon is made up of about 90% water, and watermelon is a whopping 92% pure H2O. But the champion here is the cucumber. Ta-da! Water makes up 96% of this green goodness. Now, there was a 2008 study called The Disintegration of Solid Foods in the Human Stomach. Boy, I can't wait for the movie. It was published in the Journal of Food Science, which showed that some foods can, in fact, decrease acidity levels in the stomach. Liquids don't influence the speed of digestion. There are no studies backing up the claim that liquid pushes solid food into the intestines before it's fully digested. Scientists say that liquid leaves the body faster than solid food, but it doesn't influence the speed of digestion. So, can we drink while eating or not? Having something to drink with your meals is harmless. In fact, there are a lot of advantages to drinking while eating. It helps soften and break down solid food so that your body can absorb the nutrients better. Water also prevents constipation since it softens the stool. Thanks very much for that. Not to mention, a study published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics showed that when a person puts down their fork every so often during a meal in order to take a drink, they don't eat as fast, which means they eat less. Just make sure you don't take a big gulp of water right before you swallow your food in hopes of washing it down, because it can dilute your enzyme-rich saliva. The temperature of the water you drink also doesn't influence the speed of digestion or how many nutrients you receive. According to scientific testing, the stomach can heat up or cool down foods and liquids to the necessary level. Cold beverages, for instance, get warmed up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit within the first 5 minutes of entering the body. Despite this fact, scientists still recommend drinking warm water over anything else. This might surprise you, but ice-cold drinks may negatively affect your digestion. As for too hot drinks, they can scald and damage your esophagus. If you drink hot beverages after coming inside from the cold, the sudden temperature change can damage your teeth's enamel. Plus, some doctors have drawn a connection between frequent nosebleeds and love for hot drinks. As for drinking warm or lukewarm water, it has a number of benefits. It hydrates your body faster and better. It boosts digestion by stimulating natural digestive enzymes. Warm water makes it easier to break down food. And it ensures better bowel movements, especially if you drink a glass of warm water with lemon after you wake up in the morning. Whether you drink water before, during, or after your meals, don't stop doing it. Your body absolutely needs water, and here's why. Water takes an active part in creating saliva. In fact, it's the main component of your spit. And you know that saliva is extremely important for breaking down food and keeping the mouth healthy. So if your mouth feels drier than usual, drink more water. Water helps regulate your body temperature. When you sweat from the heat of the day or while doing some exercise, your body loses water. Sweat is useful in that it cools your body down. But if you don't replenish this lost water, your body temperature will increase. So always drink a lot of water while doing some physical activity or spending time outside on a hot day. Water lubricates your spinal cord, tissues, and joints. Drinking enough water helps these parts stay flexible and pain-free during movement. Staying hydrated can even alleviate the discomfort caused by arthritis. Water boosts your physical performance. Ever notice how athletes are always drinking a ton of water? That's because hydration affects your endurance, power, and strength. Water is vital for flushing toxins out of your body through your urine and stool. So, to keep your body's filtration and waste removal systems working properly, drink plenty of water. Plus, as we mentioned earlier, good hydration prevents constipation and other bowel problems. Water helps with the absorption of nutrients. It dissolves minerals and vitamins along with other nutrients you get from your food. Water then delivers all this useful stuff to different parts of your body. According to several studies, increased water intake in comparison to your usual amount when you're on a diet and exercise plan will help you get rid of even more unwanted pounds. Yeah! If you stay sufficiently hydrated, it'll improve your blood oxygen circulation, since water helps deliver oxygen throughout the body. And this improved circulation has only a positive effect on your overall well-being. It's been proven that drinking just 2 cups of water raises both male and female metabolic rates by 30%. And when your metabolism is increased, this gives you a much-needed boost in energy. If you feel exhausted or confused, check how much water you've drunk today. Not getting enough can seriously mess with your mood and even cause anxiety. So, what about you? Do you try to drink enough water? Which side of the drinking while eating debate are you on? Tell us in the comments below, and be sure to hit the like button if you found the flow of information about water quenching your thirst for knowledge. And with all this talk about water, well, I have to go. So, see you next time on The Bright Side of Life.
Welcome back to 758 Sports Talk. And let me tell you, people, it lit. Let me tell you why I say it lit. Central Castries is perhaps the best team in terms of current form playing in this year's tournament, in this Island Cup. Central Castries is the only unbeaten team left in this year's competition. In fact, all the teams that I mentioned, they've suffered at least one loss in this year's competition. And of course, so in my 8, I would have had to, based on current form, I would have had to bump out Grosile. That is so sad for me to have to do. But in all objectivity, Grosile would not feature in that top 8 right now, but Central Castries would definitely be in that top 8. And so the discussion definitely continues. We're going to open the phone lines right now along with the messages. We'll continue to entertain your messages. 4519788 is the number to call. You can send a WhatsApp message at 4880929. Any questions, any comments you want to make. And I've been instructed to do 2 giveaways, so I mean, definitely we'll do that in a while. All right. Somebody says, "Good night. I find Ansari played a very good game considering being down to 9 men and without all their top players to have scored first and only losing by a slim margin. If you ask me, Denry is a weak team, not being able to do Grosile with that kind of advantage." With that said, we will get our house in order and get ready for Blackheart. Hopefully the guys will take that as their motivation and work harder for the next assignment. Remind me, I think Jal Augustine would have had to return to school, so that would obviously weaken the team. Erickson Reed on national duty, so I think I get some of the individuals that may not have been available for Team Ancillary in that game. Somebody says, okay, so that's today. Big up Brendan from a T Valley president. Well, big up Brendan from T Valley president. He missed the way you spoke about him and he's so happy. Can you do that, bro? And you can always check out what comments was said about him, but I don't think I'll be so robotic as to go back and see the same things I said about Brendan. Definitely very talented player. I stood there, watched him move, I watched him control, I watched him shoot to goal, and I said, OMG, these guys have a striker. All the qualities you look for in a pure striker, talented striker, somebody with tremendous, immense potential I saw in this guy at 4. I saw that brief moment. I sat down there with my video, watching the movement and everything. I was very impressed. This young man has what it takes. I hope he's definitely motivated and he continues to do what he's supposed to do to get even higher. All right. Somebody says, "Good night, Miku, Canaries, Grosile, Deriso, Mabia, Denry, Central Castries, Marsha." Marsha has not lost this year. I stand corrected. Marsha is unbeaten. Wow. And they are, let me tell you, I like my audience, you know. And they are undefeated. They are undefeated and they are the defending champions. Hey boy, from Marsha. But let me tell you. Whew. Well, David Shakes Christopher put me on the spot and I had to do it in 2 minutes. So St. Lucia, you would excuse me tonight. From what I have seen, it would mean that it would be very intriguing. Central Castries is undefeated. I think Babono has only suffered 1 defeat in this competition. Canaries 1 defeat. Miku was disappointed with them. Denry, in terms of the quality of wins, I don't think Denry has really had a quality win, a signature win that would allow them to stand out. They had a good Blackheart tournament last year. But Mabia Valley, was very impressed with Mabia. They've suffered a loss as well. Beaufort South, you have to be living in a mental place forever to not have Beaufort South in your top 1 or 2. And Roseau Valley, for sure, they've shown that they definitely have what it takes this year. But if I were to remove a team, it would be between one of the Dennery teams. I will not say which one. All right, so let me go back to some of your messages. 4519788 is the number to call if any of you guys are brave enough to call and let us know what you are thinking. All right, we had a couple of more messages there. All right, I did read that one for sure. So very well done. All right, so we're going to give away a ticket to the Big 8 Big 8 in Viewfort. David Shakes Christopher said that the Big 8 will be held in Viewfort this year. Of course, last year I think it was also in Viewfort, or was it the finale in Viewfort? Name 4 venues. If anybody could call, we'd give them a ticket to that championship. Name 4 venues used in this year's Island Cup. If you could name 4 venues that have been used, in fact 3 of them that have been used in this year's Island Cup, we will give you a ticket to the Big 8 Championship that Mr. Christopher spoke about. Name 4 venues used in this year's Island Cup so far. 4 of them, just 4. 4519788 is the number to call. If you could call, we would give you that, and we might throw in an extra something in there. All right, back to the platform. For us, it is actually Babono. Babono is one. Do not WhatsApp the answer. Good evening, you're live. Do you have an answer for us?
Yes, Kenton, good evening.
Okay, I'm having difficulty hearing you, but go ahead.
Marsha.
Uh-huh.
Mabuya.
Mm-hmm.
Waso.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You've already won the prize, you know.
Oh, okay.
Where are you coming from? Calling from?
January.
All right, what's your name?
Lana Vitalis.
Lana Vitalis.
Yes.
All right, so what do you think about my 8 teams? Do you have Denry in the top 8 teams in St. Lucia right now?
For sure. I know we're not at our top game, but I know my boys are fight. It's a young team.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, you probably have one experienced player, so they will pick up as the tournament progresses.
Who is that experienced player you're referring to? Vidal Stanislas?
Well, Riddle has been around, but in terms of playing time, I mean, Riddle is on the night. We look at Khalid.
Okay, all right.
And although he has not really started with the team, but I guess just his mere presence as an experienced player speaks a lot.
Okay.
So with a very young team, I think we'll pick up as the tournament progresses.
Definitely, Lana. Of course, and it's obvious that you follow football because you know your players, you know your venues and that sort of thing. But in all honesty, who do you think is, besides Denry, I know you would say Denry, who do you think is the best community team in St. Lucia right now? Hello?
When you go on record, we would look at Viewfort South.
Okay. All right.
We would look outside. But I must say kudos to Roseau. They just come on the scene like, well, it's a surprise. So, but as I said, not being biased, I know my team has a fight and they will be there until the end.
Absolutely. All the best to you. Of course, you've won yourself a ticket to the Big 8 competition, and you can, well, we don't have it as yet, but Mr. Christopher will definitely furnish me with that information. What you could do is you could send a message to St. Lucia Sports Online with your contact information, or you can hold the line and Junior will take that information from you. I have your name, and I don't think you will be that difficult to find at all, Lana. And have a good night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, my headpiece is kind of low. All right, 4519788 is the number to call. Somebody says, Brendan said he will come back stronger. With your comments, he heard the second time. You see, Brendan, you're supposed to be tuned in on a Monday night to 758 Sports Talk, regardless of whether or not we're talking about Roseau Valley football or not. All right, so okay, all right, I've been instructed by the boss himself to do a few more giveaways. So here is another question. What date? Mr. Christopher mentioned 2 dates for the Big 8 competition. 2 dates for the Big 8 competition. He mentioned the venue. If you could call me right now and give me 2 dates, the 2 dates of the 2019 Big 8 competition, I will give you a ticket to that. I'll give you 1 ticket for, I think, the final day. We'll do the final day. We'll give you a ticket to the final day. All right, you will have to come and you have to make your way to the first day. All right, the I was about to say. All right. The number to call is 4519788, not 4880929. That's the WhatsApp number. And we're only accepting the answers via the phone. All right. Via the phone. All right. I think this person is still on. All right. Again, people follow instructions. 4519788 is the number to call. 45197. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi. All right. Could you tell me what are the dates for the 2019 Big 8 competition?
The 7th and the 8th of September.
All right. Where are you calling from?
Viewfort.
Oh, well, you will know, eh? All right. Are you looking forward to this competition?
Yes, I am.
All right. What's your name?
Casey Joseph.
Casey, can you spell out that before K?
Kasey Joseph.
Wow, I would have never spelled Casey like that. All right, well, we got your information before you hang up, before your phone cut off. So Casey Joseph have won herself a ticket for the final day of the Big 8 competition. Casey Joseph from Viewfort. Of course, you could message St. Lucia Sports Online on Facebook. That's SAINTLUCIA, St. Lucia Sports Online on Facebook. For those of you who have been following the website, the previous website, it is now St. Lucia Sports Online. So you can go ahead and follow us on Facebook at St. Lucia Sports Online on Facebook. All right. So let me see if I can give away one more. Mr. Christopher is on the platform giving me the instructions. I want to make sure that I can actually do that. Individuals were calling the wrong number, so definitely not. All right, Mr. Christopher is typing. He's typing. We know Mr. Christopher likes to give away stuff. Let's see if we get one more. All right, so I have another question in mind. I mentioned 9 teams. Go ahead. I get the go ahead. I mentioned 9 teams. 9 teams. Let me see how many I mentioned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I took out 1 team. I mentioned 9 teams. Anybody who could call me and give me 8 of those 9 teams that I believe would make it to the Big 8 competition, they would win themselves a ticket to the Big 8 competition. All right? I mentioned those names. I think I did it about 3 times. The number to call is 4519788. 4519788 is the number to call. If you could call me right now, you will win a ticket to the Big 8 tournament. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. I mentioned 10. So if you can give me 8 of those 10, you will get a ticket tonight. All right. Let's check out the platform and see what persons are saying. Let's check out what's going on Facebook. Blessed Tilla Charles, she said, good night. Ancillary in the house. Pixie Change Rages, that's Casimir. I don't know where you all have Facebook names. Said good night on the Facebook platform. Of course, tell a friend to tell a friend. You can find us on St. Lucia Sports Online. All right. I have instructions to give away even another ticket. All right. I seem to have missed that call. My levels are very, very low. If you can mention it. All right. Good evening. You're live. Do you have an answer for us? Hello?
Hello, good night.
Yes, give us do you have the 8? Can you give us 8 out of the 10 names that I mentioned? Communities.
It's Babuno, Viewfort, South, Soufrière.
Nope. Thank you very much. Let's give somebody else an opportunity to win this prize. 8 teams out of the 10 teams that I mentioned for this year's Big 8 competition. 8 teams. Good evening, you're live. Do you have an answer for us?
Babono. January.
Hello?
Babono.
Yes, give us your answer.
January. Viewfort. Ancillary.
Nope. All right. Thank you so much for trying. Let's give somebody else a chance. 8 teams. 8 out of the 10 teams that I've mentioned will make it into the Big 8, the final Big 8 competition. I mentioned 10 names. Maybe 8 of it, I will give you a ticket. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead if you answer.
Babuno,
Yes.
Denry,
Uh-huh.
Beaufort,
Uh-huh.
Canaries,
Just now, which Beaufort?
Beaufort South,
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you said after that?
Canaries,
Uh-huh. That's four.
Central Cashers,
Uh-huh. That's 5.
Mabuya,
That's 6.
Marsha,
Uh-huh. That's 7.
Guzili.
And you are absolutely, you said the best for last. What's your name?
Andrew Antoine.
Andre Antoine. A-N-D-R-E?
Yes.
Antoine. Where are you calling from?
Yeah. From Cedars.
Cedars. All right.
Yeah. Marsha head coach.
Oh, okay. You know what that was quick to say. Marsha, don't lose yet.
Yeah, quick to correct you, man.
Let me tell you, I completely forgot. Let me tell you, when I was mentioning the names, I completely forgot Marsha. And the interesting thing is, Marsha, they are defending champions, and they won't just give it up just like that.
That's right.
They
That's
are
right.
the first ever champions of this competition.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
we
how they fare.
the unforgotten sleeping giants. It's okay. We accustomed to that.
No, but you'll always, at the end of the day, get to somewhere. You'll get semi-finals, you'll get to finals or something. But especially in the Black Hat, and last year, I was very happy that you guys made it all the way to the top of that Island Cup, first ever for the SLFA and St. Lucia. You will never be forgotten. That is history. There's only one first. So congratulations.
All right, thank you, man.
All
Thank
right,
you, man.
You're definitely welcome. Roseau Valley. I had Roseau Valley, Beaufort South, Marsha, Mabia Valley, Dennery, Mico, Canaries, Grosvenor, Babono, Central Castries. Somebody called and said earlier that I am forgetting about Deriso. Deriso definitely have to do a little bit more before I can put them in that top 10. And of course, they also have some of the players playing for Beaufort now. So how you reaching there? All right, one more question. We're giving one more ticket away. Let me see if the bossman sent. What's the full name of the Big 8? I think you mentioned it. Yes, I wrote it down. You could get a ticket right now. In fact, that is, if you could call me and tell me the actual name of the competition. Yeah, I wrote it down. Yes, and he did say it, yeah. So we're giving away a ticket to an individual who could call and give us the actual name. The actual name, the tournament will be named after we come from the SLFA portion of it. We have a call. Good evening, you're live.
The name of the tournament, right?
Yes, what's the name of the tournament?
It's Island Cup / Black Hat.
No,
right?
close, but no, close. We gotta give it. You gotta give it to you. Let's get another caller. All right. We want the full name. We want the correct name of the competition. Yeah. Yes. All right. 4519788. We have a caller. Good evening. You're live. All right. We'll give you a little more time. All right. 4519788 is the number to call.
SLFA?
That's the full answer you have for us? All right, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so just bear with us a little bit. The full name, the correct order, the name of this competition that we are about to have in terms of 8 teams participating in the competition. All right, 4519788 is the number to call. Somebody says, hi, Kenson. What's about the under-17 girls football team in Honduras? I'm not hearing a thing. If only they do something good, then we will hear about them. I'm not sure about that. We just have not been able to get any so far. Good evening, you're live. Do you have an answer for us?
Good night.
Good night. The name of the competition?
The Island Cup.
No, the full name of the competition. For the 8 teams that will be participating. Let's give somebody else a chance. 4519788. Mr. Christopher gave the full name of that competition, and he's the one who brought back that question. He sent it via platform, so very interesting. Good evening, you live. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I think so.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
SLFA, Coca-Cola, Island Cup, and Black Hat.
Good try. Sorry, but that is incorrect. There was no sponsor. I could give her that information. There was no sponsor outside of the normal sponsors this year. The first year it was sponsored by Coca-Cola, but no. All right, 451-9788 is the number to call, guys. You need to pay close attention when we have our interviews if you guys want our prize. All right, I'm pretty sure we'll have prizes for other tournaments coming up. Good evening, you're live. Do you have an answer?
Hi, good evening. The answer is Island Cup Big 8.
Close.
Competition.
Very close, but we cannot give it to you. Let's give somebody else a chance. Good try. 451-9788 is the number to call. We want the full name. We want the correct order, the full name of this competition. As we said earlier, it's going to be held on the 7th and, of course, the 8th of September. Very, very soon. Good evening. You're live. You have an answer? All right, we seem to have missed that call. 451-9788 is the number to call. You cannot WhatsApp. Thank God my phone is dead. 451-9788 is the number to call. The competition will be held on the 7th and on the 8th of September 2019. Vieux Fort, Philip Marsley grounds. We have another caller? Not yet. Let's see if we have an answer on the platform on here. Nope, very incorrect. Somebody is sending a private message here. Very incorrect. All right, we have time to take one more caller. It's 9:59. One more caller. Does anybody have the answer, the correct order, the correct name for the competition that will be held on the 7th and on the 8th of September 2019 in a Vieux Fort, the Mecca for football in St. Lucia? A number of teams will be featured in that competition. Certainly teams like Vieux Fort South, no doubt, will be in that competition. Canaries, no doubt, will feature in that competition. Central Castries, and the route they are on right now, very competent team, very difficult team to beat. I don't think we've had a team defeat Castries by more than 1 or 2 clear goals in a while. Even at the club level, VSADC has been faring well. Do we have a caller? Good evening, you're live. Do you have an answer for us?
SLFA, Island Cup, Big 8, Black Hat.
Wow, so close. All right.
Really?
Yes, so close. I'm going to give you one more chance because I'm not sure I'll be able to take another call. It's already 10 o'clock. You are very, very close. But let's think about who's sponsoring that competition. Who is having, not sponsoring, who is hosting that competition, and you should be able to get the name. We're giving you one more chance.
SLFA, Island Club, Black Hat Big 8.
No, sorry. We cannot give you that list. Okay, we're going to take one more caller, and then and then if nobody gets it, I'll just have to say. And then next week, we might have some, if we get the directions to do that, we may give some more tickets for that competition and perhaps some other upcoming competitions, all right? Do we have another caller? We have 10 seconds for another caller. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're moving the number on the screen right now. The name of the competition is the Black Hat Island Cup Big 8 competition. That is the exact order in which Mr. Christopher gave it to us earlier. Black Hat Island Cup Big 8 competition. So that should be the very interesting competition that we are going to have very soon, the 7th and 8th of September. Promotion has already started for Black Hat. Let me tell you, Black Hat 2019 will be amazing. They say the Zooks on fire, but I think Black Hat will be even more on the fire this year. All right. Thank you so much, St. Lucia, for spending time with me today. It's always a pleasure to have a discourse with all of sports fans out there. We don't often get to do that. We always have a guest, but tonight it really didn't work out that way. And of course, God always is in control and he knows what he is doing. All right. So all the best to all our national teams out there, our players representing us both here and abroad. Keep up the good work to our administrators, our PE teachers, and all the individuals that are integral to the development of sports in St. Lucia. Keep up the hard work. On behalf of our entire sports team, I'm Kenson Casimir. Enjoy the rest of your night.